Welcome back to Unfiltered the podcast. This is a space for truth, healing, and the conversations we weren't taught how to have but desperately need.
Tonight's episode is called Strong but Unprotected. And if you're listening and this feels heavy already, that's okay. We're not here to shame anyone. We're here to unpack, unlearn, and to be honest.
For generations, Black women have been taught to be strong enough to survive anything, but Black men have been taught to be unbreakable no matter the cost.
But what happens when strength replaces care, when endurance replaces protection, when silence replaces safety?
Tonight, we're going to talk about how these narratives leave Black women emotionally neglected and Black men emotionally isolated, and how that impacts love, trust, and connection between us.
Quick reminder, this conversation may touch on an emotional neglect, trauma, and relationship dynamics. Take care of your sorry. Take care of yourself while listening.
Well, let's get into it.
Okay, so when you hear the phrases strong Black women or Black men don't cry, what comes up for you? Personally or culturally? And y'all don't have to go in order to speak. Just don't talk over each other.
Can you repeat that?
Okay. The question was, when you hear the phrases strong Black women or Black men don't cry, what comes up for you, personally or culturally?
Don't all speak at once, y'all.
Wait, what's the question? Personally.
Or culturally.
Uh, kind of both, to be honest. But I'll say culturally.
Yeah, I'll say both.
Um, Definitely both, and especially you hearing those phrases growing up a lot. Um, Especially with the whole black boy or black men or black boys don't cry. It's like we've been taught from a young age of if anything happens, not to cry about it, not to dwell too much on it, just keep moving, keep pushing, and it's like I definitely think that has impacted us as a race a lot. Um, because we didn't really have time to dwell on it, and the fact that we didn't dwell on it, it begins to fester and come to something bigger. And the more that we just keep going and not worrying about it, and it does definitely play a part in who we are today.
Okay, I like everybody's answers. Do you feel like strength was something you chose or something that was expected of you?
And who do you think benefits from these labels? And who ends up paying the price?
It's definitely something that wasn't chosen. We didn't have a choice. I feel like our race, as in general, has never had that choice on whether we can be strong or not. We have had to be strong. And I definitely think that it plays a part on our future races because it's like we have to teach them. And we try to kind of shelter them from the past as our parents did to us. But we also have to make sure that they are ready to, take life on their own. So it definitely plays a part in our future.
Okay, I feel that, but because I don't want to cut nobody off. Um, oh, never mind. Chose already answered my question. He said he said when he gets in, he'll come up because his phone is dead. So I don't know. Do y'all want to wait or like? I can always edit the pause now. So, what do y'all want to do? Like, okay, because he said right now his phone dead, and then he said when he get in, he can come up because, yeah.
I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm here. Like y'all got me for like the next hour, hour and a half. So it's really up to y'all.
The biggest.
Um, I don't mind waiting, but don't you have vocal lessons?
It's not till 8:30, 8:35. So
Um, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Do you know how long it's gonna take him to get back home?
Let me see. Or do y'all want to like continue and then like when it gets to that point, we can just like pause and be like, we have another guest coming up and he just comes up and go with the flow after that.
We could do that. We can come up and go with the flow.
Everybody cool with that?
Oh my gosh, I almost left.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So, back. Does anybody need to like hear the question again?
I'm gonna just repeat the question for y'all. Do you feel like strength was something you chose or something that was expected of you?
And who do you think benefits from these labels and who ends up paying the price?
I feel like it's expected. Um, just based off like growing up in the areas that I have grown up in. In high school I ended up going to an all white school, if you can say that. And the labels that they had just for me in general, from what the things that they heard, I can't even talk right now, what in the world. The things that they heard on TV or from other people, and thinking that like I had thick skin, like whatever they said wasn't going to affect me, like it wasn't going to hurt my feelings, or um like I just had to take it. So I just felt like it's expected of us for us to be strong, because that's what society labeled us as, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, I'd say probably expected just because the environment. Yeah, I think society expect us to be kind of stronger too, as well. I think I agree with what they said.
Okay, period.
Okay. Strength became survival for us, but survival isn't the same as being safe. Um, Black women are praised for how much we can carry, but rarely asked how heavy it feels.
In what ways do you see Black women being expected to endure instead of being protected emotionally, romantically, or socially? Um, I don't like. I'm not gonna talk too much, but for me, I'm gonna say all three of them. I feel like people expect Black women to like be emotionally there, like just have their emotions together, not realizing that we go through a lot, we experience a lot, we feel a lot, which everybody feels a lot. But I feel like it's just something different about a woman that most people can't understand. And yeah, but I feel like it's really all three of those, if that makes sense.
It does. It's definitely all three. Just being like a black woman and people, men, different. Sorry. Just men in general, or if somebody else significant other is a woman or whatever in the case, expect us to not have emotions, like we're just robots, like we have to face everything, like everything is handed to us, that we have to take on the world, like let's say postpartum. People don't think that women can have postpartum, can't go through postpartum, should I say. Can't go through depression, can't have depression. Like, it's not existent to us because we don't show it, but we deal with it on a daily basis. And we can't even express how we feel because it's us complaining. It's us.
Yes.
It's us not taking life serious. We have problems too, but we can't express that, or we can't say that because our problems don't matter to some. Our emotions doesn't matter to most. So yeah, it's all three.
I definitely agree that it's all three. I feel like the way that both of y'all worded it was actually really good, and I just agree a lot.
Give me 1 second, because I'm gonna pass the mic off to a black woman.
No, you not.
Nah, you got it.
Oh my God. Yes, the wifey is coming in. We've been
I
waiting
know
for
that's
this.
right.
I don't know why he did this, guys. I guess just repeat your question because I was like, yep. Repeat the question.
So the question was, in what ways do you see black women being expected to endure instead of being protected, emotionally, romantically, or socially?
Ooh, definitely all the three, but I'm gonna speak, I guess, more romantically because I've just been listening to a lot of other podcasts talk about this too. How us as females are showing more masculinity. But yeah, just as in a relationship, I know a lot of people, especially guys, are saying females are being too masculine and not feminine enough, not showing their soft side. But it's at one point you have no choice, because if they're not picking up the slack, and I'm not talking about financial and getting hair done, nails done, I'm talking about being a protector. I'm talking about protecting my feelings, protecting how I am, protecting my body. I don't even mean giving me shelter, but that's the plus if you can do that. And I can pay my own bills, but what are you doing for me emotionally and mentally so that I can feel secure? So I definitely feel like on every end, like we have to be strong. Yeah, hubby.
And she ate that up.
That's exactly why I'm handing her the phone for most of these questions. Y'all
No, we not. The biggest, if you're talking, we cannot hear you.
I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. Being the backbone for everyone else, being called strong when you're actually exhausted, being expected to forgive, nurture, and understand even when you're hurt.
Do you think calling black women strong sometimes becomes an excuse to ignore their pain?
No. Well, I think for me, I feel like it's yes and no. I feel like sometimes even like as a black woman, you do get tired, you know? So it's like I get tired of being a strong person all the time. I get tired of having to feel like I have to have the weight on my shoulder all the time. Like, I feel like in a way, sometimes the statement can be invalidating to like black women feelings.
No, I get that. That's what I was finna say. So you took what I had to say.
What was the question?
Do you think calling black women strong sometimes becomes an excuse to ignore their pain?
Oh, definitely. Definitely so.
Hold on, say that again.
It absolutely does. People use that as an excuse all the time because they expect us to remain, I want to say, neutral or unaffected by whatever situation they put us in. They don't expect us to react. If we do react, we get characterized as ghetto. And then they be shocked that, oh my God, she has emotions behind this person. Yes, they are. We all are human, so we're going to have emotions.
Say that thing, girl. Say that thing.
I'm sorry.
I definitely
Man.
agree. Ghetto or crazy?
Yes, ghetto,
Yes.
crazy, mentally
Yes.
unstable. Oh, she's
Uh-huh.
I was
loco.
just
Like,
gonna say
no.
that. They be having a nerve to tell you that you need to go to a mental hospital or
I'm
something.
telling
Like,
you, or calm
man,
down, or fix your face, or what's wrong with you? You're what's wrong with me because you think I'm so strong and you don't think I'm gonna react to what you're saying. But when I react, now you're surprised.
Exactly. They
Yes.
expect you to stay quiet and be a good puppet.
Exactly.
You
No.
saying some good stuff. I know that's right.
You sure? Because I don't have to be here right now.
well, we need you for the next part. We need you for
I'm
the
just,
next
I'm
Uh-huh.
just
part.
saying, big dog. Like,
The next part is for you specifically. So,
Strength should never mean being disposable.
black men are often taught early that emotions equals weakness, that survival means silence.
How does the pressure to be unbreakable affect black men's ability to express fear, love, or vulnerability?
okay, so I guess I'll take this one. Well, like I said, because we were taught at a young age to not express emotions. You know, suck it up. You get hurt, oh well, keep moving. So yeah, it definitely affects us, and we as a black man, especially compared to any other man that's on this continent, it's like we have it almost three times as harder to try to obtain some of the stuff that they have or try to get to the level that they have. So it's just that much pressure on us. So yeah, we can't, because emotions they equal out to weakness. So if we show emotion, that means we're showing weakness. And as a black man, you can't afford to be quote unquote weak. I mean, nowadays I know better,
Yeah.
but growing up, that's how we were taught.
Young, like I have little brothers and I rarely see their emotions. Even my father, like he rarely showed his emotions too. I didn't even know till after he was gone how much stuff hurt him. But it sucks because like my husband said, they being taught that any type of emotion you show is weakness, and it's bringing them down in the longer run. So many men, especially black men, suffer from depression and anxiety and commit suicide, unfortunately, because they can't express their emotions. They're afraid to express these emotions. And it's sad.
Yeah, it's especially nowadays. I'm like, thank God, like I'm extremely blessed that I do have people that I can confide in. But a lot of men, especially black men, don't have a quote unquote safe space.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, I agree.
Oh, well, I'll say same thing, but I mean, I feel like we taught to express the emotion, just not the right ones, to be honest. like if you grew up in like the hood or something, you feel me, the trenches, but it's like you taught to express like aggression, you feel me? Like you not really taught to express like your happiness. And like me, I ain't gonna cap, like when I got some achievements or stuff I want to talk about, I ain't talk to it with my moms and stuff because I just wasn't used to that. But yeah, you expected to just be aggressive, like somebody try to play with you, da da da. But you're not really, taught, to talk to other people about like what you did that was beneficial to you that day or whatever, because they might not be interested, or you feel me? They might like happiness is like, especially with like other people that don't got like no ambitions and stuff. Like they just make fun of you for it. Like, oh yeah, you did that today. You really reading or something, like, or they just joking bad or something like that. You feel me? And they can't congratulate you. They jealous or whatever. So yeah, I kind of agree with what he said.
Okay, I feel y'all. I feel y'all. Okay, so being taught to provide but not process, anger being the only acceptable emotion, not having language or space for feelings.
What do you think it caused Black men to never be allowed to fall apart? They sanity.
I mean, I can speak for me personally. I know my biggest fear is, being a failure. And I feel like if we can, or if we do fall apart, then we failed. And especially now that I'm living for somebody else, got away. One day I do want to have a family. So I know I'm going to be living for more people. So especially if I end up failing them, that's why, yeah, as of now, it's hard for me to show weakness. It's hard for me to be vulnerable, especially as it was growing up, because I never wanted to be a failure. Like I said, now I know better. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still struggle with that, but I'm getting better. I am learning how to be more vulnerable in the right spaces. But yes, like I said, that's what we was taught early on. You never want to show weakness. If never. My pops always said, never let them see you crying. That don't mean you can't, but you never let them see you like that. Always let them see you at your best.
Wait, what was the question again?
You said what was the question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you think caused Black men to never be allowed to fall apart?
Um, I mean, kind of different reasons for different people, but I mean, I say shared things probably just, that one day you probably gonna have a kid of your own and you don't want nobody playing with them or nothing, you feel me? And to add on to what he said, you feel me? I mean, still be a little vulnerable to the people that you know and learn not to like treat everybody the same way, but then again, just don't just show your weaknesses. And people try to manipulate it still, but like learn how to express your emotions still to the right people at the right times. But yeah, what just keeps us going, yeah, probably just knowing like there's whole like systematic systems and stuff like that against us, and but it's still like you can't just complain about it. You just got to overcome it. So you feel me? Yeah.
You can't build intimacy with someone who was never taught how to feel safely.
When Black women are taught to endure and Black men are taught to suppress, relationships suffer.
How do you see these narratives show up in Black relationships, romantic, family, or friendships?
Um, I feel like when like you're young and you go through like trauma and stuff, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like even in the black community that is like kind of swept under the rug, stuff you don't talk about or they're like your family secrets and like stuff like that. I feel like if it left trauma on you growing up, that kind of like falls into like your relationships with your friends, relationships with like your significant others and your family in general. Sometimes you want to stay away from the people because you feel like they brought you the most pain. Sometimes you don't know how to love people correctly because you never felt that type of love. Things like that.
Amen.
I'm sorry, what's the question? I'm not with the kids right now.
No, you're good. The question was, how do you see these narratives show up in black relationships, romantic, family, or friendships? And to kind of go back a little bit, um, the biggest has said when black women are taught to endure and black men are taught to suppress, relationships suffer. And then that's where we asked, how do you see the narrative show up in black relationships, romantic, family, or friendships?
I feel like to also kind of add to that a little bit, just like seeing different things like the secrecy. I feel like for me, a lot of stuff, even with like secrecy stuff that's like swept under the rug, I feel like in that moment, I be wanting to like when it comes down to my friends and stuff, I want my friends to only be close to me to a certain extent. And I'm secretive with them, not because I can't trust them or anything, but it's just like you can only know so much about me. And I don't know why I'm like that, but it's like it stems from growing up in a way.
Go ahead, baby.
Thank you for my hand, heart.
Hey guys, just for the family part and just for the black woman part, as far as enduring, I think it's just because we're taught that. We're taught that, oh, generations before you have endured, and now you have to. Well, let's just like, why have that? I get it builds a strong character, but why not break that before it like breaks us?
I feel that. I was gonna say that, and I don't know. This is how I feel personally. I feel like sometimes it might turn the relationship into like a performance, and I say that because okay, you got the woman, she's performing strength, and then you got the man, he's performing toughness, and I feel like just eventually, like after all of that, the love gonna get choked out, and I feel like it's gonna kind of like die down by all that silence and just exhaustion. So like, yeah, I personally say it just turns the relationship into a performance, basically.
Oh, with the feelings in the relationship. Oh, I'd say it's kind of a positive and a negative. I feel like a positive in a way. Even though you are taught to suppress your emotions, you are taught to like protect your siblings that have the highest emotions towards your siblings and stuff, and you probably have a good bond with them and stuff. You can probably express yourselves with them if you have a good relationship with them. And the negatives, probably what I said earlier. You probably just too aggressive with someone, or you don't know how to soften up your tone and stuff like that. But yeah.
Everybody got a chance to answer. Okay, miscommunication rooted in unmet emotional needs, resentment versus withdrawal, love without emotional support. Emotional safety, sorry.
I'm sorry, what you're asking me?
Did you get to answer the previous question?
Not an answer.
Go ahead.
I basically don't really have anything because you guys basically said it and really took the words out of my mouth. So I really agree with everything that everybody was saying.
Okay, miscommunication rooted in unmet emotional needs, resentment versus withdrawal, love without emotional safety.
So the question is, do you think we're sometimes loving each other the best we were taught, or not the best we're actually capable of?
I feel like it starts off with what you were taught in a way. But I feel like it kind of take like that person to come into your life and show you like certain things might be toxic, or certain things like the way you do certain things is just not, that's not the correct way, even though that's how you were taught, you know? And it's not saying like you were taught wrong, so you don't, well, I guess you are taught wrong in a way, but just like learning new ways of like thinking about love, the things that you're able to endure with your significant others and things like that. Like I feel like it starts off as what you were taught, but over time you become like capable of, if that makes sense.
And he's giving me the phone again. Okay. I feel as though like, yeah, sometimes we are taught the wrong way as far as not loving the person correctly, like aggressively, but sometimes we're taught through books. Because I know, like, when I was little, I read a whole bunch of fairy tales, and a lot of other girls thought about their Prince Charming and finding love like that. And of course, reality does not meet that. So then we have to unfortunately find love in all different type of ways, whether that is romantically or other ways that I know some of my friends did, such as like substance abuse and stuff like that. So it's a heavy question. I know as far as just my relationship with my husband, just being taught the different types of love, whether that's gift giving or touch or just words. Sometimes we do have to learn another type or another way to give love.
I mean, I think it depends on how you grew up again, but I mean, just from the worst part of it, I'd say, yeah. I mean, it starts with what you're taught. But I mean, I feel like with some people can't teach you love. But I feel like it start with loving yourself before loving like anybody else, because it can be annoying for some people to just teach you whole new habits and stuff like that, and how you love wrongly, like before you meet them, it might affect like your relationship or whatever. But yeah, I think it starts with like loving yourself first. But it do start with or it do come from like how you were taught. But you gotta learn how to adapt to other people as you go on.
My bad. Can I hear the question one more time?
Yes, do you think we're sometimes loving each other?
Okay, my bad. Y'all both spoke at the same time. So
Yeah, that's why I start talking. Go ahead, Marlena.
Can y'all hear me? Cause I'm lagging and I did not hear y'all talk.
yeah, we I heard you a couple times, and then it seemed like you went quiet for a minute, and then it's like you tried to come back.
Okay, am I good now?
Yes, ma'am.
You're good.
Okay. Sorry, the biggest, like it was lagging, so I did not hear that you started talking. But the question was, do you think we're sometimes loving each other the best we were taught and not the best that we're actually capable of?
Um, well, bro hit the nail on the head when he said, first you gotta figure out how to love yourself, because if you don't understand how to love yourself, how can you teach somebody else how to love you? And it's vice versa. How can you learn how to love them if they don't love themselves properly? Um, yeah, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
I, I oh my bad. I feel like with certain people, like in different households, like you grow up seeing things, like you grow up seeing your parents or your grandparents in love, and you'd be like, you want that, or you grow up in like a toxic home, and you don't understand what love is, or knowing how to love yourself, or having that understanding. And sometimes people go based off like movies or TV shows, like, oh, that's the type of love that they want, or, fairy tales and stuff like that. I feel like they want something unrealistic in a way. And then when they get into these relationships, that they're trying to go based off how somebody else's love is and not what they need or what their significant other needs or wants. So I feel like I agree with y'all on that, but some people just don't know how to love themselves or have that understanding too, based off what they grew up in, their households or whatever happened in life. if that makes sense.
Okay, so how do we break these cycles without blaming each other?
What does it look like for Black women to be soft without guilt and for Black men to be vulnerable without shame?
I feel as though like being soft without guilt, it takes a lot. First, you gotta be willing to give another person control over you in some aspect. You gotta feel like you're safe within that person, safe emotionally, safe physically, and safe mentally, in order to be like real vulnerable with them.
Just piggybacking off of what she said, a lot of that has to deal with trust. I don't know how many times I heard, and I've also thought personally, I rather be able to trust you than to have you love me. Like trust definitely plays a bigger part. So if I can trust you enough, then I can definitely be vulnerable without shame. Because I trust you. I trust that you're not going to take advantage. I trust that you're not going to hold it against me.
Yes.
So your trust definitely plays a big part in that.
I would say that I agree with both of you guys 100%. I feel like it's definitely trust. I feel like when you trust somebody like enough, it's easier for you to fall into like your soft girl era. Because you trust them. So it's easy for you to be soft with that person, not be so aggressive. Watch how you handle in situations, not being so easily frustrated by them. Um, and things like that. But I think it definitely starts with trusting them first.
And my fault, but like I said, I can speak for me. I remember when I was courting my wife, she had this barrier up, and she's right here, so she could tell you. But I know it had a lot to deal with past relationships that she'd been through, and I had to knock this motherfucker down. Just, but you know, it took a lot. But once I did, we were both able to dwell in each other even more, and we both got once I knocked that down, she got more comfortable and she opened up more. She was able to trust me more. So yeah, it's like, again, trust it has a lot to do with that.
I feel like what everybody has said so far, but when I was like thinking about it, I was thinking like we can break the cycle by stop fighting with each other and start fighting against the narrative, you know. I feel like that we have to realize that the strength we were taught to survive this world is the same armor that's keeping everybody lonely at home. Like I feel like we just need to start, well, not we, but like people just need to start fighting the narrative instead of trying to fight with each other, trying to go back and forth, instead of coming together with the real issue on what's going on.
Uh, yeah, I agree with y'all said, but probably just probably establishing healthy boundaries with the person as well. And just encourage y'all each other to have a positive relationship, and also just viewing them as like a source of strength instead of just weaknesses. Uh, in order to express your vulnerability. But yeah, I agree with everything else y'all said. So.
Say what you just said again.
I'm going to kill him. Another aspect that I was just talking about with my husband is, yes, trust, but communication as well. We got to make sure we're communicating with the people that we're involved with in the correct way, and that doesn't involve yelling sometimes, because if you're yelling, how are you listening? Like, it's like, okay, if I'm communicating with you and you're truly listening to me, you're valuing myself. You're saying that I'm worthy of your opinion. I'm worthy of you returning to action. Like if I'm not ready for certain stuff, or I'm not ready for a relationship or whatever, and you're actually listening and you're taking consideration of how I feel, that's a big thing too.
I definitely agree with everybody. I also feel like patience. You gotta have a lot of patience, especially like the person you're dealing with.
Redefining what protection really means, allowing men emotional safety, allowing women rest, boundaries, and care.
What would truly change in our communities if strength included asking for help? Ooh, that was spicy.
I think we would truly be able to grow. Um, because that, to be honest, that's a huge problem for a lot of people in our community. And I know specifically for me, I hate asking for help because I know for a fact the last thing I want is for somebody to be able to say, "Oh yeah, when he was down, I did this for him and I did that for him," or they just end up throwing it back in my face. I hate is a strong word, but I hate that. So it's like I rather do it myself. I rather get it out the mud. So it's like I feel like I don't owe anybody anything. But pride has a lot to do with that. But I figure if we can overcome that, and we didn't have to worry about things getting thrown in our face or anything like that, we can definitely help out each other a lot, and we can get places that we've never been able to come to before.
Yes, I like that answer. I was gonna say, hold on, I gotta go back and get the question because I just forgot already. Sorry, chat. Okay. So I feel like if strength included asking for help, we will honestly stop surviving our lives and we can actually start living and like thriving in them, because I feel like the burden of holding it down would now be replaced by the power of lifting each other up, lifting everybody up. So honestly, I feel like everything would be somewhat better, if that makes some type of sense.
I agree with both of you guys. I feel like it definitely will make it better. Um, and I feel like that can be a strength versus it being like a weakness or anything. Just like a lot of people, I feel like, think that Black people shouldn't go to therapy and stuff like that. But I feel like going to therapy can help you mentally. Sometimes it's not always about the trauma they bring up. They help you in other ways you didn't even know you needed help in. So I feel like it's just little things like that that if people took heed to it, could just make the community better.
Yeah, I don't got nothing to add on. I agree with everything y'all said. Not gonna lie.
Being strong kept us alive, but being seen, protected, and emotionally safe is what helps us thrive.
Black women deserve rest, not just resilience. Black men deserve softness, not just survival.
This conversation isn't about tearing each other down. It's about finally telling the truth so we can love better.
If this episode resonated with you, sit with it, talk about it, unlearn what no longer serves you.
Thank you for holding space with us.
This has
This has
been
been Unfiltered the
Unfiltered the
Podcast.
Podcast. Until
Until
next
next
time,
time, protect each
protect each
other
other
and
and
protect
protect
yourselves.
yourselves.